Financial Management. The CSOs include the Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, Natural Resource Government Institute, Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition, iWatch Africa, Revenue Mobilization Africa, Third World Network Africa, Imani Center for Policy and Education, Center for Extractives and Development, Institute of Energy Security and Human Environment and Livelihood. In the letter dated 11 December, the CSOs wrote, quoting, "Your Excellency, the coalition stands ready to support your administration in implementing reforms that enhance transparency, accountability and efficiency. To this end, we respectfully present the following recommendation as critical priorities for the new administration." The recommendation included terminating the SML contract, while they described as a source of significant revenue loss. The CSOs further urged the president-elect to abolish the Ijapa royalty deal and review the Mineral Income Investments Fund Act, describing the agreement as a threat to Ghana's mineral wealth and citing widespread public opposition. We're trying so hard to engage some of the CSOs in this conversation, but we will try in coming subsequent bulletin to engage the CSOs later. But let's do more stories here on ABC Midday. Do once again to follow us and get interactive. Away from that, John Dramani Mahama transition team has expressed serious concerns over some last-minute recruitment undertaken by the outgoing government. The spokesperson for the transition team, Felix Kwachio-Thosu, says the team raised these concerns following the transition of their first day of work. Among the key issues raised were last-minute recruitment and a significant payment of about 240 million Ghana cedis to an entity that conducted business with Electricity Company of Ghana. Mr. Kwachio-Thosu revealed that these actions could have severe physical implications for the incoming administration. Highlighting the payment to the ECG-related entity, Mr. Kwachio-Thosu noted that the incoming team requested a halt to the transition until further security could be conducted. The former Deputy Information Minister stressed that the payment's timing and magnitude could adversely impact the public purse given the precarious state of the economy. And the Member of Parliament for Ningo Prom Samuel Nyete George has issued a strong warning to the outgoing government, cautioning against the signing and backdating of contract after the 2024 general elections. According to him, the incoming administration of President-elect John Dramani Mahama will not honor any agreement made under such circumstances. In a Facebook post on Thursday, Mr. George specifically called out attempt to finalize a contract on the Ghana government platform, quoting, "The attempt to sign a contract on the government's app platform should cease with immediate effect," unquote. He stated, adding that such actions undermine the integrity of governance and accountability during the transition period. The Ningo Prom legislator assured Ghanaians that the incoming government is closely monitoring ongoing activities related to contract signing. Trying to engage Mr. Kweku Ansa Asari, who is the former director of the Ghana School of Law, to also have a conversation on the back of what all these CSOs have raised and also the allegations of the Ningo Prom Member of Parliament saying that they are actually going to watch closely into government's business and some contract before they fully take over. Well, as and when we do try to engage, we know that yesterday the transition team led by His Excellency Nana Adedankwa Akufo-Addo and the current president-elect John Dramani Mahama yesterday were smoothly commissioned, and we were trying so hard to also find out more from that particular I should say transition team, as you can see displayed on your screen. So government's transition team, the team members of the outgoing government, the member of parliament for the okay, so that's Godfred Yeboah-Dami, and we do also have Honorable Osei Chairman Sabonso, who was the former majority leader in Parliament, Honorable Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, the Finance Minister, Honorable Henry Korte, and we also do have Honorable Shirley Ayoko Botre. I believe we do have lawyer Kweku Ansah Asari on the line, so we'll try to get his thought on that. Lawyer, good afternoon. Hello, Mr. Ansah Asari. Well, we're trying to get once again into contact with lawyer Ansah Asari, who is the Director of Government of Law over there. Mr. Ansah Asari, good afternoon once again.
Good afternoon.
First of all, let me take your initial reaction from yesterday's transition process.
From?
The transition process that ensued yesterday between the outgoing President Akufo-Addo, and the President-elect John Dramani Mahama.
Oh, it's a very welcome step. As the outgoing President did indicate, it is to ensure a smooth transfer or handover of power from his government to the incoming government, and therefore it's a step in the right direction.
Well, the outgoing, the Member of Parliament for Ningo Prampram, Samuel Nete George, has also raised concerns about things that they, as an incoming government, will do, saying that they're actually going to pay close attention to government deals and all of that. Some have also raised concerns that it's too early because just yesterday, transition team, and we're getting reports that, well, the incoming administration wants to take some legalities against the government. As in terms of law, what is this supposed to mean?
Well, the transition is a process. It is not meant, to score political goals. But then you'll be suspicious, of each other for a long time now. So from the perspective of the outgoing administration, they may want, to present the picture as they see it. But the incoming, administration has a different perspective. And therefore, it's a give and take thing. For instance, from my point of view, the process is to enable them to take a wider look, at governance in the past 8 years, particularly the state of play of our struggling and unstable economy, state capture, of government properties, of government lands, of family lands vested in the president. Okujeto Abrakwa used to talk a lot about state capture, the award of contracts, the recruitment, and therefore the stakes are very high, which will require some collective, responsibility, not only on the part of the team, but every Ghanaian. We should all be interested in what is going on. We have had issues of galamsey. We've had issues of COVID-19. People made pledges. How much, has been saved? How much is still in government coffers? We have the National Cathedral project. We are all interested. Was the money utilized? We have chieftaincy issues. People who were not qualified, were made chiefs. And there are so many, chieftaincy cases before the courts. The incoming administration will want, some of these things to be glossed over. The incoming administration wouldn't want to sweep anything under the carpet, you see, and therefore, if there are any cobwebs, in other size cupboard, they need to bring them out. So you'll be hearing ugly noises here and there, but I think that the right thing must be done. We must be grateful to the outgoing president for ensuring that this thing, is carried out effectively and efficiently. And we are also equally grateful to the incoming government for accepting, to dialogue, for accepting, to deal with government and this. But for the rest of Ghanaians, there are a lot of, corrupt practices that, went on during the past 8 years. And such corrupt practices must be brought to, the fore those, who have perpetrated, the crimes must be punished to serve as a deterrent, so that the incoming administrators, if they go the same way, they will also, risk sanctions come, the end, of their administration.
But lawyer, given the timeline we are in, that the outgoing government, as we know, they barely have few weeks for, leaving office, is the timeline even accurate for this process?
For sure. I mean, if we are honest about the exercise, we don't need, 1 month or this thing. By now, one would expect the outgoing government to have their handing over notes ready. And the handing over notes, will chronicle some of these problems. That what will make the times, maybe look shorter, is when we are suppressing the truth. But if, we are honest and we go about it with integrity, maybe 1 week, because I saw in today's papers, incoming President Mahama holding 2 documents. You see, and these are detailed. Now, it is up to him and his team to examine the document critically, to answer some of the queries on the state of play, of our unstable economy. As for the governance issues, well, but the economy, the corruption, the Green Ghana project, the National Cathedral, the monies that COVID-19, committee received, where are the monies? Who spent them?
Lawyer,
and these are things that every Ghanaian should be interested in.
But lawyer, then again, lawyer, can you hear me?
Yes.
Then again, the president, that is why the OSP's office was there. Why didn't all these things, be looked at if there were suspicions?
And sister, you and I know that the OSP office was established to exonerate in the, airing MPP members. So it was just, something that was established to ensure that if somebody appropriated $48 million and the OSP will clear the person or the court will intervene and all that, all these things should be played back. To be honest with you, I don't have any confidence in the office of the special prosecutor as it stands today. I don't have any confidence, and I think the least said about it, the better. It was just brought in, and the officer, the office holder, was named and brought specifically, to do the government bidding. We need to say, the facts as they are. So I don't believe that, the report of the OSP, should hold a hand of the incoming administration. They must be at liberty to go over anything and everything the office of special prosecutor has carried out.
Lawyer, the other conversation about this whole transition thing is the fact that the incoming government says that the last-minute recruitment by this outgoing government is not so right, and when they come, they would make sure that things are done in place. Wouldn't it be insensitive on the part of the incoming government to lay off workers barely, 6 months, as we do know that people have been recruited by this administration?
I will not even, stop at recruitment. The outgoing government should have nothing to do with award of contract. They should not award any, fresh contract. There should be no recruitment. We have state agencies responsible, for that. For instance, the ECG thing, that 240 million cedis is unnecessary, is uncalled for, is another instance of corrupt avenue. So let us allow the incoming administration, to go about what to them, should be done with, less with corruption, but more with honesty and integrity.
Lawyer, I would also want to pick your thought on the aftermath of the election. I mean, post-election, we've seen a lot of the MPs, the members of parliament, contesting the result of some of the parliamentary coalitions and all of that. Even some say they would want to go to court. What are the legal implications, looking at the fact that the old administration is going and we have to also inaugurate the new administration or the members of parliament? What is the whole legalities in this?
It's a legal right. If you contest an election and you lose, the mechanisms are there, to challenge. And once, until you exhaust the mechanisms, you have every right to utilize them. So it's a democratic right to do that.
Well, there are some that say that the law, I mean, looking at the time that we are in, the Electoral Commission and the coalition results have made it clear that these are the true fact of the results. This person didn't win and the other party won. So in as much as you try to use the law to seek justice, there's no way the law would even favor you.
Well, every case must be considered on its own merits, I believe. So it's case by case. It doesn't necessarily follow that when you commence an action you win. It doesn't. So allow them to utilize their legal opportunity. If there's a window of opportunity and it can be utilized, why not?
All right, lawyer, we're so much grateful for your time this afternoon.
Very grateful. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, lawyer. And so we are engaging lawyer over there to have a conversation on the issues in the transition process and other related issues regarding what the post-election that we have witnessed. Well, some MPs say they're actually going to contest some of the results that they have received. In fact, some constituencies, in fact, Wager, Bawe, for instance, as we speak, is brewing with a lot of violence and agitations over there. We'll be keeping an eye on that. Also in the Sawam part, we also have received some reports of serious contention over there, and we would also want to engage on that. But you're still watching ABC Midday, and I am Eric Junabo. Melo, do also leave your thought and comments. Let us know what you think about it as well. But away from that, the coalition of the civil society organization working on extractives, anti-corruption and good governance has earnestly urged President-elect John Dramani Mahama to terminate the Strategic Mobilization Limited contract. The CSOs contend that the current SML contract has siphoned off millions of Ghana cedis into private ownership without providing adequate benefits to the country. They firmly believe that ending this contract will effectively close a major revenue leak and help restore public trust in financial management. The CSOs include the Africa Center for Energy Policy, Natural Resource Governance Institute, Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition, iWatch Africa, Revenue Mobilization Africa, the Extractive and Development Institute of Energy Insecurity and Human Environment and Livelihoods. In a letter dated 11 December, the CSOs wrote, quoting, "Your Excellency, the coalition and administration in implementing reforms that enhance transparency We apologize for the loss of sound over there, but we're glad that you still stay with us. Let's still do more news here on ABC News Ghana. The tensions are rising in the Wejagbawe municipality after supporters of the National Democratic Congress (NDC) stormed the premises of the Electoral Commission, demanding a redeclaration of the parliamentary election result. This unrest follows the announcement of Jerry Ahmed Shaib, the candidate from the New Patriotic Party (NPP), as the winner in the Wejagbawe constituency during the 2024 general elections. Shaib received 32,608 votes, narrowly defeating Felix Odate Lante of the NDC, who garnered 30,460 votes in a closely contested race. Shaib's victory further strengthened the NPP's position in the constituency and increases its parliamentary representation. Wilfred Ayite Blanksim, the presiding member of the Assembly, recognized the NDC's concerns regarding discrepancies in the parliamentary vote count. We will also be connecting with a reporter on the ground to provide some updates on the escalating tensions over there. Mr. Samuel Isso has also joined us. Well, I believe it's Mr. Kojo Yauche. Mr. Yauche, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
So let's take your thought on the CSO saying that they would want the president-elect to take actions on some suspicious deals that they have seen lately. What is your position on this?
Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me, and good afternoon to your listeners. These are issues that we've been working on over the period. Certain deals that we feel do not deliver value to the Ghanaian people that have endured within the current administration that we feel should not go into the new tenure of the new president that we're going to have. For example, the SML contract, which we believe has diverted millions of cedis right into private hands, was a subject of investigation. Even at the president had to commission an audit agency to audit the contract, and certain recommendations were made. We were even felt that if you speak to all stakeholders, that contract needs to be cancelled because it's not delivering any value for us. There are entities, state entities within the value chain that are doing the same thing that the company is supposed to be doing. So even the recommendations from the audit of the contract were not followed, and then all of a sudden we see the GRA asking them to resume work to continue what they were doing, which occasioned the investigations. Those are all things that we feel that the president-elect should pay attention to. Again, the Japan royalties deal, for example, was only suspended, right? The process was not terminated when the corruption risk assessments done by the former special prosecutor raised very serious issues bordering on transparency and corruption issues around the deal. The law that permits that special purpose vehicle to be created to do some of these things is still existing. So we are just drawing the president-elect's attention to those things to bring finality in terms of termination to that process. We do not want to wake up one day and then that process resumes, as it were. So those are some of the things that we are trying to bring to the attention of the president-elect, that as he puts together his cabinet, these considerations will be on top of his mind once he does that.
Actually, beyond the press release that you have put out there, what other measures or steps have you, in connection with the president-elect, negotiated on for now?
No, I mean, during the lead up to the elections, I mean, both parties, all the parties have met CSOs, and we've put some of these issues to them. Some of these things that we talk about have been reflected in some of the manifestos of the political parties. But I mean, of course, now that power has been won, we have to remind them of the commitments that they made when they met CSOs and also on campaign platforms and in their manifestos regarding some of these issues. We don't have to just sit back and say because it is in the manifestos or because they've made certain commitments to it, then it automatically will translate into action. We have to, right from the beginning, set the ball rolling by making them know that those commitments are still there and they have to honor them. Even those ones that they've not committed to, there are still issues that they have to tackle. And we'll be expecting swift action from the president-elect on some of these things.
Then again, in your release, you say that you and the president-elect will have some reforms that you would bring to board. Just brief us about what these reforms are about, please.
I mean, for some of the things that we expect the president, we brought to the attention of the president, would require certain reforms to the way the governance structure of the various institutions and also the governance processes around some of those things. So it's not going to be an event. It's going to be a process to reform. And there are a lot of stakeholders within the coalition that have various expertise on the various issues that we are drawing the president-elect's attention to, who are willing to offer ideas and policy proposals on how to do those things that we are asking for, how to go about those reforms that we are asking for in a very transparent manner that yields optimal outcomes for the citizens. So those are the things that we are willing to bring on board if the president-elect is open to contribute to the process of the reforms that we anticipate in the space.
Finally, before I let you go, you also stated that the terminating of the SML contract, which you have described as a source of significant revenue loss. Tell us more about it. How much have we lost as a country in this?
So essentially, the company is being paid some 100 million Ghana cedis to do work that we do not require them to do, right? They say that they are going to do revenue assurance in the downstream petroleum sector to be able to save the country from underreporting, and that does not tally with the revenues that government is supposed to get within a period. But the data we have suggests that their existence has not led to any improvement in the revenue flows to government. Rather, what we see is that because we are consuming more petroleum products and also the levies and the margins on these products have been increasing over time, that accounts for the increases that we see in the revenues that are due government from the taxes and levies in the space. So if you net off the effect of the volumes and the increases in the tariffs, then really what value are they adding to the extent that that chunk of the revenue that is due government is ceded to this company to do this? And there were even contemplations of extending what they are doing into the gold sector as well as the upstream sector. And we feel that these intrusions are not necessary and that they are not adding any value, but rather are taking a share of the revenue that is due government from these sectors. And then this is something that we cannot allow to go on.
Thank you so much this afternoon for engaging with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Away from that, let's do some more news here on ABC News. And the New Patriotic Party, NPP, has officially won the Fantiakwa North seat after several disputes. Now, this was when the EC official declared the result Thursday morning. At the end of the day, the parliamentary candidate of the New Patriotic Party, Kwame Appiah-Kodua, had 11,751, while the parliamentary candidate of the NDC had 11,297. Let's take a listen to how the official announcement was made.
Total votes cast 23,282. In the absence of my returning officer and the power vested in me as the deputy returning officer, I therefore declare Mr. Kwame Appiah-Akobia of the MPP as the winner of the parliamentary elections in the Fatiaka North constituency. Total votes cast 23,282. In the absence of my returning officer and the power vested in me as the deputy returning officer, I therefore declare Mr. Kwame Appiah-Akobia of the MPP as the winner of the parliamentary elections in the Fatiaka North constituency. Total votes cast 23,282. In the absence of my returning officer and the power vested in me as the deputy returning officer, I therefore declare Mr. Kwame Appiah-Akobia of the MPP as the winner of the parliamentary elections in the Fatiaka North constituency. Total votes cast 23,282. In the absence of my returning officer and the power vested in me as the deputy returning officer, I therefore declare Mr. Kwame Appiah-Akobia of the MPP as the winner of the parliamentary elections in the Fatiaka North constituency. Total votes cast 23,282. In the absence of...
Well, my colleague Samuel Nimabo is currently at the Ghana Telecom University, and once we get him on the phone, we'll get exactly what has been happening at that place to also get more information from him. But let's do some more news still on post-election and its tensions that has arisen from it. Now, tensions are still rising in the Wejagbawe municipality after supporters of the National Democratic Congress stormed the premises of the Electoral Commission demanding a declaration of the parliamentary election result. Now, this unrest follows the announcement of Jerry Ahmed Shaib, the candidate from the New Patriotic Party, as a winner in the Wejagbawe constituency during the 2024 general election. Shaib received 32,608 votes, narrowly defeating Felix Odate Lamte of the NDC, who garnered 30,460 votes in a closely contested race. But Shaib's victory further strengthened the NPP's position in the constituency and increases its parliamentary representation. Wilfred Ayite Blankson, the presiding member of the Assembly, recognized the NDC's concerns regarding discrepancies in the parliamentary vote count. We will connect with our correspondent over there to see how the tensions have been, whether it's calm, whether there's still brewing of tensions over there, because we hear that it's very serious at the Wejagbawe constituency, where tempers are even high. Some even wanting to go physical with the coalition presiding member over there, and my colleague Sami is there. We're trying so hard to connect with him to have a better understanding on that. But let's take a listen at some of the agitations that has capitalized with the constituency.
What we heard is what is on the line now, because it all started just after the election. We had an information that a lot of pink sheets are coming, which are not coming from the polling station. So we are here to examine it. And moreover, when we came and we were cross-checking the collation, it was not tallying, because we have ours and the other opponent does not have any pink sheets. So we found out that we are leading. And all of a sudden, what they told us that he's ready to carry the case to court. So we came out jubilating that we are forcing him to tell us, oh, he's not ready to give us the actual listing. But just yesterday, we had an information that some of the big men were here bringing additional ballot papers so that they will do recounting. And we are also not okay. So let's enter. Let us all see what is going on. Later, when we went there, we saw some of the EC officials standing and then taking 2020 pin sheet for declaration, which is not right. It's irregularity. As I'm speaking to you right now, everybody have been moved to the headquarters at regional to do the collation over there to redeclare, because the EC official who did the declaration is not the rightful person to do it. It is Abigail who is supposed to do it, but he or she also was complaining that he was being a threat. So Mr. Dankwa was brought in to do the declaration. Mr. Dankwa is a retired presiding member over here, so I wonder how he came in to do the declaration. With the coalition, we have won the election. NDC, we have won the election. So you can also go around, check from the ground. It's about change. It's about change, and we brought to that, and we had a sympathy vote because he's from the soil and he's a grassroots from Wejagbawe. It's well known. So we won the election totally. We won the election totally. So this is what is going on. There, when you came here, you see there have been a lot of people around, but as I'm speaking now, most of them have left to the region. Yeah. So that.
Let's go on the phone and speak with my colleague Samuel Isel, who's joined us on the line to give us more updates. Sammy, what is the latest development from that constituency?
All right, good afternoon.
Yeah, Sam, go on. I was asking, what is the report there currently?
All right, earlier on, as I got some of the military officers and the officials have moved to the regional office. And I interviewed one eyewitness who made mention that for them, the Felix Odate, who is the NDC candidate, had 35, and Jeffrey Ahmed had 30. But they believe that the counting of the ballot paper were 10 in favor of the NPP. Rather, the NPP had 35, and the Felix Odate had 30. So both parties, that brought misunderstanding between the two parties. So they were asked to then the official who's supposed to the district electoral officer who's supposed to declare the winner, who is Abigail Onas Piaggio, the district electoral officer, were not able to declare the winner, but rather was asked Mr. Dankwa to declare, which the NDP and the NDC were like they are not satisfied with the results that came out. So that brought the understanding between the two parties, and they decided to send the matter to the regional head office, which is at the Braka.
Also, we have heard that some NDC supporters are demanding a redeclaration. How is the mood like in terms of the agitations from that camp?
Yes, actually, that was what I was told. That brought the misunderstanding between the NPP and the NDC followers. So the matter has been sent to the regional office for recounting and declaration from the head office of the Electoral Commission.
Now, what time are we expected to have the final collation?
I was told this evening, so probably the final results and the final declaration will be done at the electoral office, at the main office, at the EC office.
Sam, also, let me find out from you, have you been able to engage the parties involved? The NPP side and the NDC side also have a fair understanding of what they have to say in relation with these agitations?
All right, at the moment, I was able to speak to one gentleman, but then haven't had time to engage with both parties. So I'm yet to meet them at the electoral office, at the regional office, which is at the Dakar.
All right, so keep an eye on that for us. We'll get back to you shortly as and when we do have any information for us. But thank you so much. That's my colleague Samuel Isel, who was reporting from Wejagbawe constituency, which we told you earlier the tensions are very high over there, and he will be bringing us more updates on that. But when we're back, we have business and some more news to stay. let's do some business. And in business, Kojo Omwating, the president of the Traders Advocacy Group Ghana, has urged President-elect John Dramani Mahama not to scrap the COVID-19 levy as promised in the social contract with the people of Ghana. President-elect John Dramani Mahama's first 120-day social contract include removing the COVID-19 levy and with other taxes within the first 90 days in office to alternative hardship and reduce the high cost of doing business. However, Martin suggests that repurposing the COVID levy as dialysis or NHIS to support the health sector. He also argued that the current names of the levy discourages payment, particularly in the country facing financial constraint. Martin also noted that business owners are eager to the dollar rate and pledged the port to ease the challenges faced by importers.
Maybe buying things from abroad, maybe they will be charging anything that you buy that will come out with COVID levy. We can change the name so that we get money. And mind you, we are a developing country. When it comes to money, we don't have luxury when it comes to money. So if we can use that COVID levy to also augment the health sector, why not? We can do that.
Okay. And in more business, the Ghana Statistical Services third quarter 2024 GDP estimates reveal a positive economic reforms with growth across all major sectors. Provisional GDP estimate for quarter 3 2024 shows that oil GDP grew by 7.2%, while non-oil GDP expanded by 7.7%. In terms of sectorial distribution, services accounted for the largest share of the GDP at 42.9%, followed by industry at 32.6% and agriculture at 22.5%. When comparing quarter 3 2024 with the same period in 2023, significant growth was observed in key sectors. Oil GDP grew by 7.2% in quarter 3 2024, a notable increase from 2.2% in quarter 3 2023. Now, non-oil GDP also saw a 7.7% rise compared to 2.4 in quarter 3 2023, also reflecting a robust overall economic performance. The agriculture sector recorded 3.2% growth in quarter 3 2024, up from 0.7% in quarter 3 2023, while cocoa experienced a decline and other sub-sectors like livestock and crops showed positive growth. The industry sector grew by 10.4% in quarter 3 2024, a significant improvement from 3.9% in the previous year. Now, this growth was also driven by mining, including oil and gas, alongside recoveries in manufacturing and constructions. That's all for business, but let's do some more local news here on Midday. Astute constitutional lawyer Yao Danko has expressed concerns and confidence that no court in Ghana will issue an injunction to halt the swearing-in of members of parliament, despite growing tensions and contentions within the legislative body. His remarks come amid concerns raised by some MPs over the legality of the election results and the subsequent swearing-in. Speaking on ABC in the morning, he explained that the constitutional process of swearing-in MPs is a time-sensitive and legally protected procedure which no court would be willing to interfere with. According to him, while legal disputes regarding electoral outcome can be brought before the court, they will not have any immediate power to stop the swearing-in process, which is mandated by the Constitution. He further stated that the calls for the halt of the transition process by some persons are unconstitutional.
Final injunctions left, right, and center. I don't think they can. And I don't think even if they, of course, it is within their right to file, but I don't think any court will grant that injunction because you cannot maintain the status quo when on the balance of the convenience, one party or one person is going to suffer a hardship. That is what the court will have to balance, and I don't think they have the grounds to be granted an injunction when the effect and the impact, the detrimental impact on the nation will be greater than than what they are seeking to do. So yes, it is within their right to apply. I cannot see any court in this land that will grant that injunction. I don't think them transition is constitutional. It is not. The transitional period.
Away from that, local government expert Richard Fiademo has advocated for the amendment to Article 243 of the 1992 Constitution to enable citizens to directly elect metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives. According to him, the current system where MMDCAs are appointed by the President and approved by the district assemblies limits accountability, as the provision fails to provide a criteria upon which MMDCAs should be appointed. Speaking on ABC in the morning, he charged the incoming Mahama administration to consider reviewing this provision and allow citizens vote and elect these officials in order to strengthen local governments.
For especially John Tamanima, in making the appointment, we can get a strict criteria. Constituency secretary and a constituency chairman organize as well. I should be a chief executive. It's not good for, and I expect that going forward, especially John Tamanima, in making the appointment, we can get a strict criteria so that it's not a political party patronage as usual. And that happens, it affects the party, the local government system. We also do not want to see unbridled interference when it comes to the work of the MMDC. We know that if you look at the way MMDC is appointed, it has to pass through the party system. So once you get there, the chairman of the constituency thinks that you pass through my hands and you pass through the hands of the executive for getting the show on reasonable demands, and it doesn't allow the MMDC to. And that is why we will recommend that going forward, now that the MDC has declared majority, we should amend Article 240 of the Constitution and get the citizens to vote for the MMDC so that it will cure this unbridled interference that comes from the political elite. Constituency secretary and a constituency chairman organize as well. I should be a chief executive. It's not good for, and I expect that going forward, especially John Tamanima, in making the appointment, we can get a strict criteria so that it's not a political party patronage as usual. And that happens, it affects the party, the local government system. We also do not want to see unbridled interference when it comes to the work of the MMDC. We know that if you look at the way MMDC is appointed, it has to pass through the party system. So once you get there, the chairman of the constituency thinks that you pass through my hands and you pass through the hands of the executive.
Let's do some more local news, and report regathering indicates that parliamentary candidate Ernest Yaokumi has been declared the winner of Akwatia constituency, and we're told that he has been speaking on the back of that. Let's take a listen at what he has been speaking to.
Ernest Kumi had 19,269 votes. Henry Biadomboache had 17,206 votes. Total valid votes 36,475. Total rejected 294. Total vote cast 36,769. With this, or based on the results so far, based on the results mentioned, and on behalf of the chairperson, I declare Ernest Kumi as the MP elect for Akwatia constituency. Thank you very much.
We had to cross over quickly to that. But away from that, let's do some more news. But still, away from that, let's do some health news. And the regional environmental health analyst Oliver Cromwell has dismissed concerns suggesting that vendors are running at a loss following the imposition of a ban on the sales of vegetables in the western region. According to him, there was an extensive deliberation between the council and the affected vendors before the ban was implemented. He added that more meetings are being organized across the western regions to further discuss the issue of the ban on sales of vegetables and educate them on some safety and hygienic measures to help curb the increasing cases of cholera in the region.
See the way we'll go, and this is the way we should go for us to stop the cholera. Today we are going to meet the food vendors again, discuss this issue of the ban on vegetables. We are doing that in Takrady. Tomorrow we'll go to Kwesimintin and then further discuss this issue. And I believe they all agree. We went round yesterday and they are selling. They were all happy that sales are still going on. And
meanwhile, regional environmental health analyst Oliver Cromwell has called on relevant stakeholders to join forces in eradicating the cholera outbreak in the region. He mentioned that 95% of cases recorded are from the food vendors and expressed hope in measures put in place by the Council of Elders to reduce the number of recorded cases. Cromwell further encouraged the affected persons, especially vendors, to adhere to the directives.
We are also appealing to corporate bodies to support the WRCC to enable us clean the environment. And then we are also in tune with STME and ECMA to also sit up and also do the NIPO. At the same time, we are educating the communities on the need to clean their environment and then improve their personal hygiene. And then the food vendors, we are also telling them to use hand washing facility, and this is now compulsory in the Western region. That without hand washing facility, you cannot serve. And this thing will take place from Friday. From Friday, if you don't have hand washing facility beside you, you cannot sell your food.
Away from that, 3 passengers have died on the spot, leaving 20 others in a critical condition following a gory accident at Gomwa Ochireko Junction in the Gomwa East District of the Central Region. The accident occurred in the early hours of Thursday, involving a VW Sprinter Benz bus with the registration number GW 5477-24 and a Hyundai Grace with the registration number GR 5899-22. The deceased, including 2 male passengers and a female. Eyewitness also said that the Sprinter driver was heading towards the Takrady, while the Hyundai Grace was also from Winneba to Kaswa. The Sprinter driver made a wrongful overtake and collided with the Hyundai Grace. Now, all 20 surviving victims in critical conditions are currently receiving treatment at the Accident and Emergency Unit of Winneba Trauma and Specialist Hospital. We'll be back shortly with some sports news. Do stay. And in sport, with 2 matches left in the league phase of the UEFA Champions League, the race of qualification is heating up after match week 6, Liverpool FC stands tall at the top of the table. Now, the Reds have won all 6 games of amassed 18 points, fairly securing their place in the round of 16. Following closely are FC Barcelona with 15 points, Arsenal with 13 points, Bayer Leverkusen and Aston Villa, Inter Milan, Stade Brugge and Lille complete the top 8. Now, all of whom have also guaranteed their places in the next stage of the competition. However, the battle of survival is far from over for the teams ranked 9th to 16 who will fight it out in the knockout playout. Borussia Dortmund, Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, AC Milan and Atlanta are among the teams in the bracket, along Juventus, Benfica and Sporting SC. Sporting narrowly also edges with a final for the final playoff spot, now holding on to 10 points. Real Madrid and Manchester City are on the brink of missing out, splitting 20th and 22nd respectively. Further down the table, some big names are struggling to make their mark, and this include the Paris Saint-Germain, for instance, set in 25th place with just 7 points, while Stuttgart and others are also on the brink of elimination. Now, disappointingly, RB Leipzig and Young Boys find themselves even further down, with their Champions League dream slipping away. And as we look ahead, the final 2 matches of each week, the stakes couldn't be higher. Now, the teams will also battle it out to secure those all-important places in the round of 16 and the knockout playout of things in certain, where the drama is over. Away from sports, we're back with international news to stay. An 11-year-old girl from Sierra Leone has been rescued after surviving 3 days in stormy Mediterranean water by clinging 2 tire inner tubes. Rescuers from the NGO Compass Collective discovered her while responding to another emergency. The girl, who was wearing a life jacket and inner tube, was part of a group of 45 migrants who had set off from Sfax, Tunisia. Rescuers handed over to Italian authorities on the island of Lampedusa, where she was able to walk as well as talk. Tragically, her boat sank during a storm, and all the other migrants are also presumed dead. Migrants dead in the Mediterranean remain alarmingly high, with over 30,955 people reported dead or missing over the past decades, according to the International Organizations for Migrations. Let's wrap up the bulletin with some entertainment news. In entertainment, Ghanaian songstress Efia has officially announced her cancellation of a much-anticipated Efia live concert, which was scheduled for December 23rd, 2024. The decision comes after the artist cited circumstances beyond her control as the reason for the cancellation. In a heartfelt post shared on her Instagram on December 11, 2024, Efia expressed deep gratitude to her fans and collaborators who had worked tirelessly to bring the event to life. She also reassured ticket holders that the refund process is already underway. The artist promised her supporters a comeback, revealing plans for a much bigger and better show in 2025. Efia encouraged her fans to stay tuned for exciting developments in the new year, leaving them eager for what's to come.